Welcome to the Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet show. While it's a funny little title, it's a very serious subject. Thunder, what are we going to do today?
Same thing we do every day. Save the planet.
And in doing so, we're inviting scientists and great people to explain the situation we have, a dire situation. It's an ELE, which stands for Extinction Level Event. And this is no joke. We had one that I know of in the past, and that was when the dinosaurs ruled the planet. And a meteorite came and hit the planet and devastated life on the planet. We now have one it's called the Fukushima nuclear reactor accident. It happened 7 years ago. It was a natural disaster. A earthquake hit underneath the ocean, caused a tsunami that took out 3 of the 6 nuclear power generators in Fukushima, Japan, at the power plant. Those cores are on the bottom of the ocean, spewing out 100,000 gallons per day of nuclear waste into the ocean. And as you can see those pictures before, the ocean is full of radiation. It's also, what I learned recently, is the atmosphere that's been polluted. And a lot of it's in the high atmosphere, but it's still affecting humans around the world. We've got human mutations, we've got fish mutations, insect mutations, and plant mutations, of which we'll be showing you pictures of. Our special guest today is Doug Ivanovich, who runs an organization called World Peace One, and under that banner, another 501c3 called Storm Aid. And under that banner, we're going to be dedicating a lot of the monies we raise to eradicating or helping solve the problem we have in Fukushima. And it's a dire problem, and it is indeed an ELE. Doug, what can you tell us about what you know about the situation?
Well, first of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Greetings, Thunder. Look forward to spending this time with you both. I guess the first and most alarming thing is that we're talking about the ELE, extinction level event, that did not just occur 6 months or a year ago. It was on March 11th, 2011. 7 years of this kind of a thing. It's actually 7.5 years. Is a long time for nuclear reactors to be spewing radiation and contaminating, water and ocean water with radioactive materials that live for thousands or exist in a dangerous form for thousands and thousands of years. And it basically became a problem when the tsunami hit that followed the earthquake on the 11th of March. I guess it was called the Tohoku earthquake. And for about 3 or 4 days, when they shut down the reactors, they held for 3 or 4 days, but without the normal flow of cooling materials and water, the reactors overheated. I believe they had 6 reactors in units 1, 2, and 3 actually became nuclear meltdowns, releasing or actually causing a series of these hydrogen air explosions. And so the loss of the coolants resulted in this disaster that we're seeing today. Still has not been resolved, and that's the biggest issue and the biggest problem. Is this is an ongoing problem and crisis, and in a strange way, it's almost as if every day you're having a nuclear meltdown, because these materials keep on contaminating ocean water every single day. So something has to be done about that, and people have been very short on solutions.
And the atmosphere. The atmosphere, Doug,
well,
is what I'm told.
And a certain amount of it does climb to the upper atmosphere through, the natural precipitation process. And so essentially what had happened was This was a preventable and foreseeable event that occurred. And in some respects, the utility there in Japan was negligent in not, taking care of and avoiding or averting a crisis that could have been avoided and averted. The backup generators that would have kept the reactor cooled were on a ground floor level or a ground level, and when you have a tsunami or a significant ocean surge, anybody would realize or should realize that those generators, the backup generators, would be underwater, and that's what happened. So it could have been avoided. At the same time, there haven't been a lot of people with real solutions, and we know with certain peoples in Asia, often loss of face is something that's very, very uncomfortable. So for some time, the leadership there it wasn't really accepting of help from the outside. An extinction level event, this kind of an ELE, should have every genius, every government, every organization, every corporation on earth that has something to offer, some solution, or even creating a group genius of sorts to work together. That should have been happening, and to this day, it really isn't happening much, nor are some of the organizations sharing information with each other. So, yeah, we have an extinction level, world-scale disaster on our hands, and it's still continuing.
Yeah, Michael Horn, who also helped inspire me to launch this webcast, is going to be our next guest, and he is introducing us to some people in Japan that are on the ground there, and we're going to learn a lot from them as well. So this whole channel is going to be dedicated to talking to scientists, talking to people that might have some solutions, talking to the corporations and the celebrity. We need to get the word out. I met in the last 4 days dozens of people from all ages, from 15 to 65, and no one knew about Fukushima. Nobody. It's a travesty that it's not in the news. It's not in people's mind, because this is an ELE.
That is remarkable in itself. It really is. And so, yeah, what had occurred back then was given a level 7 classification in terms of disasters. And so far, that's the highest disaster there is so far. They gave the same classification to the Chernobyl disaster, which was horrific in its impact and influence. But the difference here is that, Chernobyl, though some of the radioactivity was carried off atmospherically, here we have the ocean, which is so critical in terms of sustaining life and especially our food chain. And it's so easy for this to spread. I know we had a conversation previously about some of this. I know that about a year after the Fukushima event, strangely, people off the coast of Oregon and parts of Washington were finding millions and millions of very deformed starfish and sea slugs. And one of the oddest things that happened is that an entire house from Fukushima ended up landing on the coast of Oregon. And so, despite the disaster, at least, somebody over there knows how to build houses. But nonetheless, this is very serious, and what we are doing right now is considering putting together a world-class, world-scale global event and broadcast to bring attention to Fukushima and raise the awareness of the public, invite countries, governments, organizations to come together and do whatever possible, raise funds, appeal to people, governments, organizations, the wealthy, to contribute to solution orientation on Fukushima, which is there hasn't been enough of that. So since we at World Peace One and Storm Aid have assembled, arguably the finest broadcast team in the world, there might be a few people might be able to assemble a team that's comparable, but there is none better, and there for a while there will not be a better team. We have the ability to reach between 2, 3, and maybe even 4 billion people when we have the resources to utilize the talents of both our conventional media and our broadcast media and professionals. We have the ability to reach somewhere between 2 and 4 billion people, which probably would make a difference because, Monty, as you mentioned, there are an awful lot of people who don't even know what Fukushima is.
It's a travesty. It's a travesty. I'm so happy to be part of your team, Doug, and helping you with Storm Aid and what have you. And these podcasts are going to be on my other foundation called the Foundation for World Harmony.org, and we'll send people to that. And we'll have a lot of information. We'll probably put these images up on the site. We'll put obviously all these podcasts. And I don't know if you've seen these images as Thunder's sharing them with us, Doug. Are you seeing the images that I'm seeing?
I am not right now, but I will when I, get a chance to view it.
Yeah, well, they're live as we're talking about this, and they're horrific. And of course, as we know, 7 years of these small gestation periods have only manifested itself into more generations of mutated species. Humans included.
Absolutely, and the thing that becomes really dangerous is that plankton is very, very small, and plankton is vulnerable. Now, one of the advantages of plankton is that it is fairly ubiquitous, widespread, and so on. But nonetheless, it's right at the core of the world's food chain. And so it's really, really important that plankton continue unmutated because, the mutational effects are going to be something completely unpredictable. And the problem is that, again, the half-life on this radioactive material is in the thousands of years.
Yeah.
So the ocean can possibly mitigate some of that, but and that's always a plus. But on the other hand, this is some very, very stubborn, difficult, dangerous, and toxic material that is not easily dealt with or reckoned with.
And I think when we get the word out that this is truly an extinction level event, hopefully that opens up people's eyes. That's those are 3 very powerful words when I think about it. And so now our stage 1 or step 1 is to share. If the listening audience needs to share these podcasts, these webcasts with the world, with the social media, with celebrities. We need to get celebrities tweeting, sending people to these images, to the information that we're sharing. And Doug, it's great that you're part of this team. We're going to be assembling the best minds along with Thunder, who's one of the smartest guys on the planet. We're going to be assembling some really smart people. And then after the word is out, then we could probably start addressing the solutions. And then with the solutions, we'll have to go out after the funding, which will be some of these concerts and donations and what have you from the world population. But this is a world problem. This isn't a United States problem. This isn't a California problem. This is a planetary problem. It's an extinction. People, it's an extinction level event. We're not blowing any smoke up anyone's rear. You have to pay attention to this. You have to share this with your loved ones, because all the money in the world, all you billionaires out there, it does you no good when you're in the grave. Money does you no good when you're in the grave, and it does your grandchildren no good when they're in the grave. So please pay attention. Share this videos. Get involved. We've got lots of ways to get in touch with us. We've got the phone numbers that are posted on our sites. And all you can do is reach out to everyone and please get involved. Doug, what do you think?
100%. We will do everything we can to get the word out, spread the message around, sound the alarm, wave the banner, wave the flag, and start calling on people to get active and proactive, and let's get to solution orientation on this. I have mentioned to you privately once that I had met with a couple of gentlemen, 2 professors, one from USC and one from UCLA, who were touting a Nobel Prize level breakthrough in nuclear chemistry, and the ability perhaps to neutralize radioactivity in water. And so I'm going to reach out to those gentlemen, find out where they are in their process, and find out, what they are proposing and what they need in order to facilitate, the proper results here. Because I know they've been involved in double-blind studies and experimentation at the universities. So I will get in touch with them, and we'll find out who some of the other best, most brilliant scientific minds and activists are out there that we can pull together, create this group genius, and invite, collective humanities genius to get together and see what we can do to solve this.
And Doug, I want to thank you for that.
Serious problems.
I want to thank you for that. The world wants to thank you for that. And I know you're busier than a one-armed paper hanger. And any time you can put towards that is obviously we all benefit. And I want to thank you for that offer.
I appreciate it. All right. And I just want to say that I'm extremely impressed and inspired by Thunder's work. And Thunder, I just want you to know I'm somewhere up on your fan list. I'm one of your fans. So we look forward to doing great things together.
Sounds great. Always.
And I think we have a guest that was listening in, a special guest. Lorson, are you still there? Lorson?
Okay.
Lorson?
No. Well, I'm going to jump off. Gentlemen, it's a pleasure and a privilege and an honor, and I look forward to continuing.
Great. Thank you, Doug. Be
Thanks,
fantastic.
Doug.
Be fantastic, Doug.
I can't help it around you guys.
That's great.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I guess we lost Lorson, huh?
No, I took him down because it was a 2-part show. So,
Okay.
hold on.
No, I thought he wanted to listen in. That's all. And I was just going to introduce him for the next show. That's fine.
I didn't catch that. Darn, that would have been cool. Okay.
Listen,
here,
the more people that
I lost the meeting.
Thunder, the more people that hear this, the better. Anyone wants to call in, the 714 number, please call in. But at any rate, Thunder, we're going to close this one out, and we're going to go talk to Larson. But what are we going to do today, Thunder?
I've already done this. I've already stopped recording.
Oh, well, I'm still recording.
Oh, same thing we do every day. Save the planet.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye-bye.